All right, we did look at the Razer Blade 14 about a couple of months ago and did very well on the channel, so I figured I'd reach out to Razer, see if they wanted to send me something else to review here in 2025, and good news, they sent me the Razer Blade 16, but this is not the one that everybody's already reviewed. This is one I don't think many have reviewed, in fact, hardly any. This is the Razer Blade 16 with the RTX 5070 Ti, so it comes in a little bit cheaper, not much, but a little bit. And it also does have the AMD Ryzen AI 9 365 or Strix Point, right? So this is the Strix Point. I wanted to say Kraken Point, but it's not. It's the Strix Point. And 32 gigabytes of RAM, a terabyte of storage, and of course, like I said, the NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti. So let's get it out of the box. Let's see how that beautiful OLED display is going to fare. Let's see how this CPU-GPU combination performs. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is the Razer Blade 16 running the NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti, brand new for 2025. Coming up. Okay, let's see what we get in the box here, and as you can see, once again, pretty nice packaging with their commitment to sustainability, and you can see the box holding the unit itself. We'll put that to the side for the moment, and let's see the power supply here, and this one is, let's see, 280 watts, and let's see the rest of this in this box over here. So pretty nice lengthy cord there, and uses the, you know, you have your regular cord there, Mickey Mouse ears over there, and then this is the proprietary charging cable right there. So that will power this beast, and we'll get that up and running in just a moment, but that's everything in the box. Okay, we have the unit itself. Let's get that out of the box. Let's lift that up and put that over there, and here is the unit. Let's take this out. Pretty nice, little heft on it. It is feeling pretty thin, actually, and then you get some documentation here. So let's see what documentation they give us. Let's see, let's open it up, flap over here. And what do they give you? Well, they give you some stickers. Okay, we saw that with the 14-inch, nice. And then you get some documentation and a thank you, support information, yada, yada, yada. So pretty nice packaging so far. And I think that's it. So that is for the inner box. And then, of course, the unit itself here. And there you can see with their Razer logo, the triple-headed snake, and you can see it here. That's the underside. And then if we go to this side, you can see the premium all-black metal build here. Looks like machined aluminum, CNC machined aluminum. So very nice. Let's see if we can do the you-know-what test. And of course, we can. So here is the layout. And of course, the beautiful display we'll get on in a moment once we boot it up. But THX audio, spatial audio, and it's got the AMD Ryzen AI 9 365. That, of course, is Strix Point. And then, of course, we have the 5070 Ti. So an improved keyboard, I think, over years past. We saw that on the 14, so hopefully this will be the same here once we get it up and running. And then you can see here, it does have a glossy display. We'll get it out. Obviously, once we boot it up, we'll see how bright it gets. We'll do our measurements and so forth. But that is what's in the box, and that is the unit itself so far, looking pretty good. All right, let's get a measurement of the weight with just the laptop alone. You're looking at 2.100 kilograms, so 2.1 kilograms, and that is 4 pounds, 10 ounces, or 10.1 ounces. And that is just the laptop alone. But let's put it back into kilograms. With the power supply, power cord, you're looking at 2.904 kilograms, and that is 6 pounds, 6.4 ounces for a total travel weight. So it's pretty portable for a gaming laptop with a 16-inch category here to take with you on the road. All right, let's get a look at the ports. On the left side is your power port. That's proprietary, as we said, but you could also charge with the USB-C. We'll talk about that in a moment. And you got two USB-A, a USB-C 4.0 supporting 40 gigabits per second. It also supports 100-watt charging. And you also have a 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack. And moving over to the right side, you get a full-size SD card reader, a second USB-C 4.0 port, again, also full function, and you get your USB Type-A an HDMI 2.1, and a Kensington lock port to round out the ports. And I would say, all in all, a very good port selection. I like the fact that the USB-C ports are split up, one on each side, making it more convenient. And it does support 100-watt charging USB-C, in addition to the proprietary port they can charge with the included power supply. Now, as we're booting up, you can see here the per key RGB backlighting looks pretty gorgeous. And you can see there, yeah, it's starting to collect fingerprints. Not a surprise. I saw that on the 14. Again, this black all-metal design will attract fingerprints, although they do put some oleophobic coating on it, but I'd like to see it a little bit cleaner. So you will have to carry a cleaning cloth. Just keep that in mind. Okay, now internally, you can see there are two SSD slots, M.2 NVMe SSDs, and as you can see, the one slot taken up on my review unit has some really good reads and writes, but of course, having the ability to expand out storage is always key here. Now, as with all Strix Point, you have the RAM that is soldered into the motherboard. My unit has 32 gigabytes of very fast RAM, and it is running in dual channel mode. Again, unfortunately, not user upgradable. Now, you're looking at a Wi-Fi 7 Bluetooth combo card. That is slotted in, so if you need to change it out or swap it out for whatever reason down the road, you have that option. But as far as the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, both work flawlessly. I've had no issue with either one. All right, let's talk processor here, and it's running the AMD Ryzen AI9 365, aka Strix Point, and of course we've seen it before. It's got 10 cores and it has 20 threads, so we've seen it before. So what do we have here in terms of single multi-core performance? You can see the difference between the Ryzen AI9 HX370 and this one. That, of course, you find in the higher end models, and you can see the single multi-core is very good. And considering the difference in price, you know, it really may be the way to go here in terms of this particular SKU. You're looking at the Cinebench 2024, 115 single core, 962 multi-core, in line with other Strix Point running the same processor. So good single multi-core performance. So if you're going to do graphics on this, well, you're looking at the NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti, and this one is fed 140 watts of power. So you're looking at pretty decent performance here. It does have advanced Optimus. It does have some really good results here as you look at the 3D Mark here, the Time Spy, the Fire Strike, and of course the Wildlife Extreme, showing very capable in terms of performance. So when you're looking at 3D, in terms of the overall picture here, gaming, you're definitely going to get some playable frame rates on some of the more popular titles. Of course, it supports DLSS, so if you want to go that route, you can. And as you can see, very capable in terms of the gaming, as evidenced by these numbers. Now, good news, when I ran the Time Spy stress test to see if this will throttle under load, it got a passing score of 97.5%, meaning it detected virtually no throttling under load. You'll love to see that. Now, as far as the surface temperatures under heavy load, as you can see, the fan's doing the job here, keeping the surface temperatures at bay, especially where you place your fingers on the keyboard. On the underside, also remain relatively cool as well. Nice job there. And as you can see, the power supply never overheated either, even when under heavy load. So they did a good job here in terms of the thermals. Now, fan noise can reach as high as around 56, maybe 57 decibels in total when you're running this under the maximum load in the highest performance mode. But when you're doing everyday tasks like you're doing Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, fan noise was really not an issue. So they did a good job there overall with the thermals. Now, as far as opening the lid with one finger, if that's something you're into, yes, you can do it easily, well engineered here, and minimal screen wobble when typing. So the hinges here are on pretty good. Now, as far as the keyboard, let's talk about it because there is an improvement here over previous generations. They now have 1.5 millimeters of key travel in terms of those keys. So typing out documents, emails, and the like has been more comfortable and a much more pleasant experience overall with the Razer Blade 16. So I really like what they did in terms of improving the keyboard. Now, it has per key RGB backlighting, which is controlled in the Razer Chroma app, and a lot of user customization and control at your fingertips, so that is always welcome. Now, when it comes to the touchpad, a nice spacious touchpad, and as far as scrolling and doing all the gestures, everything seemed to work as it should be. I know there has been some controversy over some problems with the touchpad in some of the reviews that I've seen online. Now, I tried to replicate some of those problems in the 3.5, 4 weeks that I've had this, and I was not able to do that. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at this and evaluating that. I have not been able to do that, but I'm not saying it's not an issue. Just, be careful, be aware. I just couldn't replicate it. It worked perfectly fine in terms of the touchpad on my unit. All right, let's talk display here. And we're looking at a 16-inch OLED display with a resolution of 2560 by 1600. That is a 16:10 aspect ratio, and it is working out really well in terms of the display. In terms of the quality and fidelity, it's really good. It's got a 240 hertz refresh rate, so you're going to get a very smooth, very fluid experience, especially when it comes to gameplay. It also supports adaptive sync. Now, brightness is 409 nits in standard dynamic range. It can peak up to 600 nits in HDR. And speaking of HDR, watching high dynamic range content in Netflix, Amazon, YouTube has been excellent on this panel. Now, as far as content creation in Lightroom, Photoshop, video editing, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, all work very well, because it has excellent coverage of the color gamut. It is also color accurate. And with any OLED display, you get the high contrast, the deep blacks, the super vibrant colors. It's all there. So this is the 1080p IR camera on this new Razer Blade 16 here for 2025. It is IR, as I mentioned, so that means you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. What do you think about the video quality, and what do you think about the array mics in terms of audio? Very important, of course, when you're doing video conferencing. It also has the studio effects. After all, this does have an MPU. It's a Ryzen Strix Point processor. So you got the background effects, you got the standard blur, the portrait blur. Does a really reasonably good job here. It's got the auto framing. All that stuff is here. Again, let me know what you think about the video quality and the audio quality. Now, when it comes to audio, we're looking at 6 speakers here, and it's the THX spatial audio. So they don't use Dolby Atmos. They use their own standard here, the THX. I think Razer owns that. So not surprising there. But I actually got a little bit of a sample so far, and I'm really impressed with the 6 speakers here, especially how thin and light this 16-inch gaming laptop is. So, but I want you to be the judge. You let me know what you think in the comment section below about the audio. Let's give it a listen and let me know. All right, let's talk battery life here. And this has a 90 watt-hour battery, which is a pretty good size for this thin and light chassis. So we're looking at about 4.5 hours on the PC Mark 10 Modern Office test, which is a mixed use test. And I would say real world usage, that's about right. And video playback, you're looking about 5 to 6 hours. What we're looking at here is a high-end OLED display running at 240 hertz. If you lower it down to 60 hertz, you're probably going to eke out a little bit more battery life, but I keep mine at about 40% screen brightness, and I'm looking at the 240 hertz here to try to see where we come. And we got 4 hours and 31 minutes. Again, real world usage, everybody's use case is a little bit different, so your mileage may vary. So just keep that in mind. Now, they do supply you with a 280 watt power supply, and it charges via the proprietary port on the left side of the unit. And it does also support charging with USB-C after have 100 watts on far as that is concerned. And that is where we stand in that. So overall, you're not buying this really for the battery life, but you can get 4 to 5 hours, I would say, of mixed use. And gaming, you're looking at 1 to 2 hours. So not a surprise there. So just bear that in mind. All right, let's bring it all home. What do I think about the Razer Blade 16 running the RTX 5070 Ti from NVIDIA? This comes in a lot cheaper than the 5090 and 5080 models. So for that perspective, you're getting a lot more bang for the buck because you're not paying that extra money, but the 5070 Ti has proved more than capable here. So I like the savings of money and I like what you're getting for the performance for that price. Now, what's good here? So the 16-inch OLED display, 240 hertz, is absolutely gorgeous. It's really nice. I don't have much complaints about that. It's really fantastic. It is gorgeous. The deep blacks, the super vibrant colors, the really high contrast, it's all there. 240 hertz gives you that very smooth, very fluid gaming experience. Temperatures were kept at bay here. Surface temperatures never got overly hot. No throttling detected here in the test that I was running. And you have good CPU and GPU performance here. The CPU single and multi-core did well with the Strix point. And then, of course, you're looking at very good GPU with the 5070 Ti. We've had 140 watts of power. Very good. I had no issues with that. Supports DLSS, get you a little bit more frame rates. Now, what is the negatives here? Well, RAM is not user upgradable here, but that's pretty much par for the course in 2025. And you do collect a lot of fingerprints on that black exterior. This is a well-built machine. It's a machined aluminum, CNC machined aluminum deck here, and it's really good. But of course, it does collect fingerprints, so you will have to carry a cleaning cloth to wipe it down every now and then. As far as ports, you're looking at a really good port selection here, so I don't have any complaints there. Really nice camera, by the way. Good job there. It's an IR camera, so logs you in with face recognition, but really clear clarity. Good microphones there. Very good. I was a little surprised at that, how good that was. And then overall, I would say this is a really good laptop, but one other caveat is some people have had issues with trackpads on these units or touchpads, and I would say I have not experienced those. I tried to replicate them. I did my research on it. I looked at the Reddit posts and so forth, and I haven't found ability to replicate it, at least on my review unit. And I'm not saying that it's not out there, that people are not experiencing this. I'm sure they are. So just do your research, buyer beware, of course, and customer service hopefully has gotten better with Razer. I know they've had some issues in the past, but I'm not going to say that's the case I have had with this because, again, I didn't have to service this or anything like that. Let me know if you have any experience with Razer service and with their customer service. Let me know any repairability issues and trackpad issues or any other issues. Let us know, right? Put them in the comments in the comment section below. That being said, I really like this Razer Blade 16. They did a great job improving the keyboard and overall a sleek, modern looking 16-inch gaming laptop that really is really stunning. It really turns heads. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I want to thank Razer for sending this over. I'm not being paid or being sponsored by Razer, but I do appreciate them sending it over for us to look at here today. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. And if you are a casual viewer of my content, why not hit that subscribe button? It doesn't cost you anything and helps support the channel as we're making our big push for 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you're going to buy something like the Razer Blade 16, check out the links in the description below. Yes, they are affiliate links. And no, I do not get a huge commission, a small commission that helps keep the lights on in the studio, helps support the channel. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.